all the things that everybody needs him to be. While it's exhausting for him, like he genuinely was made to do this.
It's a 24/7 job. You have to be on and ready all the time. A lot is in your hands. A lot is in your hands.
Yeah, so we're headed to one of my favorite restaurants right now to pick up dinner for the co-founders and their spouses. Everybody's coming to our place, and we're gonna have dinner together. We're gonna talk about, what it's like to work at a startup and give you some behind the scenes with our significant others, and hopefully you get a new and fresh perspective on what this takes and what it's really like. Super behind the scenes. Hey.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm picking up the pizza, about to head home.
Okay, perfect. I am running around because I went to pick up the chairs and they were not assembled. Trying to get this strawberry shortcake done.
Okay, perfect.
Okay?
Are you ready to be on camera?
Trying to be.
You're gonna do great. Thank you. You're Superwoman. I love you.
Alright, love you. Bye.
Hello.
Full dining room table outside.
That was my mission before we left for work. They're gonna think we have this normal setup outside. That's our dining room table.
I want them to know. He went to the extent of taking a dining room table outside.
It's time to eat pizza. Let's be real good. Patrick, doesn't this really make you want kids?
I said
No. Wait for the camera.
Yeah.
It was patient zero in Birmingham, April of 2020. He gets positively diagnosed.
Patient zero is so dramatic.
I was the CDC.
Patient 10.
It was very much still COVID is scary.
Jared at 8:03 a.m. at channel no COVID for me.
Yeah, look at the screenshot. It looked like I was good to go.
Admittedly.
And then we're all like, yes, we're all safe. We're good. Blah, blah, blah.
This is with 5 of us shared a
And
desk space.
the next morning at channel, guys, I'm really sorry, but I spoke too soon. I thought this meant I was good. And he screenshotted.
Would you show him the screen?
It says reference range not detected.
That was the
you know.
confusing
See?
phrase.
That
Yes,
feels
yes,
very
yes.
negative. To your credit. That was our office then.
Yep.
Wow.
It was just totally empty.
Holy crap.
We need to get this printer delivered through the window. There's a crane that lifts it up. Well, the guy in the city, the ordinance man who's over blocking off sidewalks, drove by our building as we're setting up this crane. He's like, excuse me, do you have a permit for this? And I was like, nope, we're gonna be done in like 10 minutes. He's like, you have to shut this down right now. I'll call the police. You need signage, you need a permit. And I was like, these guys came from far away. Like, we have to do this today. He was like, you gotta get a permit today. We called Randall Woodfin, the mayor. We called the city. I drive to Moody, Alabama in the rain to find these signs from a warehouse while they expedite our permit. You went to City Hall.
Yeah, I went to City Hall to get the permit.
I
We
go to
show
Moody.
back up at the same time. He had
Show
the
back up at the
signs.
same time. We show Mr. Monopoly our stuff, and the crane resumed operations as the deluge started.
As it starts pouring.
Yeah, like
I just
something
found
out
a
of
video in Slack of that.
Oh, let's see it.
Also, look at Elliot's mustache.
It's called a man lift, I know now, not a printer lift, but here's the hole. Nice. So I'm looking at this thing. I'm like, man, the printer is not gonna fit on that at all. I know I communicated dimensions, but anyway, I just called the rental company and he was like, no, that's called a man lift. It's just for people. They got a bigger one coming. So deuces. Don't panic if you see that.
And then Jared screenshotted this and posted it.
That was necessary.
It was necessary.
Are you a crazy guy? Say yes.
We are taking videos, actually.
So the first question is, what's it really like being married to a startup founder?
That is such a huge question.
Where to begin?
Do you want to go first?
You go for it.
Being married to a startup founder, for me, it's a roller coaster, but if he was doing like a regular 9-to-5, that would be soul crushing for him. And so I'll take the roller coaster every day because I know that like this is what fulfills him. And so it's really hard to hear like all the stuff that he has to deal with on a daily basis and like the weight of so many people's careers and families and people moving for this job. And it's not just us anymore trying to like make something work or for our family, but it's a lot of people. It weighs heavily on him. And he also is really good at being present with our boys and with me. And I know that it just takes so much for him to like be fully all the things that everybody needs him to be. While it's exhausting for him, like he genuinely was made to do this. And so I'll take it every day.
I cannot imagine Jared sitting at a desk 9 to 5. It just would never happen in a million years. So I agree, Jared was made to do this too. I love the beginning stories that he tells of when they first got started and started from nothing, right? Just an idea, just a couple of guys coming together. The initial stories of walking around downtown to try to find a building, of where they're going to land, and just the, I guess, curiosity of where it's going to go and the unknowns. Like he does really well in those situations where he doesn't know but has to figure it out, and he always does. Jared is a figure it out type of person. It would probably normally stress someone like me or normal people out. Jared thrives in those situations. He's a calm energy, he is a powerhouse, and I think as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, you have to be that way. And a lot is in your hands. A lot is in your hands.
How did you guys create the line of what you want from your spouse and what you want them to have for themselves? Like, how do you draw that line?
Relationships are hard, but it's also a partnership, and your partner has to be the best version of themselves, and you want to inspire each other to be the best versions of themselves. For sure. So I think quality time is important. Sure. I'm a big advocate of, okay, it doesn't have to be a lot of time, but it has to be intentional time. Yeah. So I do think that we have set certain boundaries of during dinner we put our phones away and we have good conversation and we relax, and this is our time to catch up on our days. Obviously if something happens, but he's been so great. He's been so good at both of us finding the balance together while still cheering for each other, and same with me. He's so relaxed. Like if I get called into work too, I have a demanding job, he's so supportive of me, and he works on the weekends. Like, okay, Saturday morning I gotta go into work, and he's with his team, with Elliot, and they're all rallying their team. Okay, we work really well together with navigating a schedule while also setting boundaries of intentional time.
Yeah, I would hope that like what I want from Elliot and what he wants for himself are the same thing. But I want him to be a successful entrepreneur. I want him to be an amazing present father. I want him to be an engaged husband, and I think he wants all those things too. And so I think it's my job to help bring some balance and remind him of like who he is as a whole and not just as an entrepreneur. And I think that he is thankful for that even when it's hard in certain moments. And it takes understanding on both of our parts. Like I think he would say, I hope he would say that he trusts me with the boys, and so if he has to leave for a week, that's just part of it, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with that role in my life being taking care of everything else because he's taking care of everything at the business, and so hopefully we become more well-rounded people because of it.
Has there been like, I don't want to say a rock bottom moment, but has there been moments for both you guys where you didn't know what to do because of how bad things got?
I would say at the beginning it was a lot more like that. When Elle was struggling to find like the vision of the company and be able to like write it on paper and tell new employees like this is what we're doing, that was hard to watch him struggle with that. And also usually it comes up when we're fundraising. Fundraising is always the worst. If I had to pick like the lowest moment, like not a silver lining on it or like who he's become because of it, it was when the last round of funding fell apart at like the very last second. This was probably 2022. We thought the guy was coming into town to tell us that like we were moving forward and they were gonna fund our next round. So I was just like at home waiting for the call, and I was mowing the yard and I heard my phone ringing and I was like, how did it go? And he was like, they backed out. And I was like, you're lying. Like this had been months and this was the one. There was nobody else that was gonna fund the round. And he was like, the guy that we were talking to said that he believed in us, but he couldn't get the firm behind it, and it was done. Like square one for all the months of like rejection and hard work and maybes and probablys and then probably nots, and it just fell apart. It was crazy.
I don't feel like we've hit like a rock bottom. I wasn't there at the very beginning. I only hear stories, and I could see how that would be the struggles of, is this even going to work, right? Once you make it past certain milestones, I think it is different. We have definitely had hardship. I feel like he's adapted even in the couple of years, 2.5 years we've been together, from adapting different roles, right? So the team has expanded so much even in recent times. One thing I really love about Jared is he can get in the trenches with people. Okay, sales not doing great, let me jump in the sales team, let me jump in team success, let me jump in all the different teams, be with people to inspire them, to see them grow. So he is so good at taking the reins and just driving forward and just coming up with a game plan to move ahead.
What's a win from the journey that made it all feel worth it?
I have one thing that comes into mind, and like this is not the win because I'm sure there's a lot of things, but I remember when we hit $1,000 sale day the first time, and there were like 4 of us, and Elle was like, we're doing it. Like, it's really happening. We went and bought like box wine at the little place down the street from our first office and took it back and like partied because we were so excited. He was like, beers on the company. We all drank wine, sitting like on the hardwood floor at the first office. That was so fun. But it felt like such a huge win because to him it was. But that was when things were simple and clean and $1,000 was everything.
But that's a big deal. Like those beginning days, just
it was
being
so
there
awesome.
from the beginning, just to see their company that they started. I think it's beautiful how much the team has been growing lately. Also, Sloss Tech too.
Yeah.
I love sitting there, and Sloss Tech is really cool because it brings together people from all around the country to celebrate what they, not what they do, but just tech all together, and to seeing them up on stage. Being surrounded by all these awesome people and just speaking and having so much energy and the whole crowd kind of hyped up behind them was really cool too.
How has both of their journeys impacted you guys from when they started to where they are now?
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster the whole way through, but I wouldn't change it for anything because of the growth that I've seen. And like, I think our family is better because of it. I was listening to something and someone was talking about the things that they've learned from their parents and taken with them into their own adult careers and lives. And so I was like, what will the boys take from us? And I was almost in tears thinking about what Grown Up Ford and Atlas, but I'm having conversations with Ford. Like what he'll say about, like, my dad thought anything was possible. And so I feel like I can do anything because, like, why not see what you can do? And my dad like stuck with everything, even when it was hard, even when there weren't people backing him, that it was still worth pursuing. To think of Ford having that mindset out in the world is like invaluable. He wouldn't be that way if it wasn't for this job, but Linq specifically. And yeah, we're all better because of it.
Being an entrepreneur in general, having a business, it's a lot of risk. There's a lot at stake, right? And it's exciting. It's really, really exciting. And the thing about Jared is he's such a figure it out person, and he's a leading charge in that. And I'm confident in seeing the way he leads in that realm, that he would do that in any aspect of life for our family when we have one too.
For sure.
In your perfect world, where does this end up?
It's so hard to say. Like, I would be completely fine with like a semi-lucrative exit and we move on and do the next thing.
What's the next thing?
I would say it's definitely starting another business. Like, he will do this until he dies, but probably something health related, because that is like such a big passion of his. So I would be fine with that. Like, but he would not, and so therefore we are not fine with that. I think we're in it for the long haul, and he talks about it being $1 billion company, and we're gonna do it all the way. Like, it's gonna be big. Yeah.
I don't have a set answer, but we're 2 feet in on this. Linq is the fabric of who Jared is. It's part of his identity at this point. He'll never let it go.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine him not having a hand in Linq ever, because he just loves it. I mean, it's who he is. He believes in it to his core. He knows the potential and the success of this company, and he's willing to pour everything.
Looking back, was it all worth it?
100%. Super, super worth it. So when I was in college, I remember sitting in a Chick-fil-A parking lot with Elle, and we were talking, and he was like, I have this business idea for grand packages, and like every month you can send your grandparents like things so that they know you're thinking of them, and like photos of what you've been doing. And I was like, awesome. I've never thought of like a business in my life. And so that is the marker in my head of the first time that I was like, oh, he loves business and ideas. And at that point, he was getting his degree in music. And so to see like the entrepreneur side actually be the one to take root and be something that he loves so much, if that person sitting in the Chick-fil-A parking lot could see where we are right now, I would be like, it's everything I could have ever dreamed. Everything. The family at work, the people that we're getting to work with. It's just, yeah, it's beyond what I could have expected and hoped for.
I think there was a lot of times where Jared didn't know what direction he was necessarily heading in, and you've known Jared forever. I think if he could go back and tell his younger self where he is today, he'd be so proud.
For sure.
And even to see where Linq has started, I love the stories that he tells where they laced up their shoes and they walked around to go find a building to be in. It's at their apartment, and just coming up with the idea and the name, and to hear, you know, just couple guys trying to figure it out, and just seeing now a room full of people bustling all together aiming toward one mission is just incredible. And people can only dream of being entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone has it in them to be able to create something and stick with it and do the hard. And there's more hard than not hard. There's a lot of failure that comes with this, and figuring it out and working towards one dream is really incredible. So yeah, it's all worth it, and it's worth the ride and the journey and the roller coaster, and we're gonna keep on riding.
Yeah. The fact that they both have like proven to have the grit to do this is really amazing. And I'm so thankful, because when they first left Shipped, the first week that they were working like full time at Linq in their apartment by themselves, Elliot was having like a full mental breakdown. And I was in Atlanta, and I was like, do I need to come to Birmingham? And he's like, I think yes, maybe, I'm not sure, I'm not doing okay. And that's when Jared built him that desk that y'all already did the video on. And Jared has always been there, like, we can do it, it's gonna be okay. And then now, like,
it wasn't even
they know
during
that.
COVID years, like they would kind of bicker back and forth.
Of course.
And just, I think they've been through so much through their own relationship too, of learning and growing and figuring it out. And I think they're both strong personalities in their own right, of trying to figure things out together, and to be where they are now, it's just really cool. It's really special.
It's very special.
We're losing forward. How close are we? Oh,
We just finished.
she's done.
Jared's hair is on this.
Is that a wrap?
What went on down there?
Got a little wild. Is that done for everybody?